we're talking about emotions and what it really takes for a woman to claim her power. Those emotions are energies in motion. And Dr. Rose Backman, our next guest, says if you don't deal with your emotions, they'll deal with you. Good morning and good day, Dr. Rose.
Good morning. Good morning. Emotions are flipping around all over the place for all of us, right?
They are. They're driving. They're the drivers. And I'm so glad you're here with me this morning. Great to see you.
Thank you. It's wonderful to see you too. So we're going to wake them up and we're going to shake them up for those people that are listening today and teach you that your emotions make you or break you. I want you to think about that. So the emotions you go through, they make you or they break you. And most of the time, we need to be broken first before we repair the pieces back together, just like a puzzle.
Where, like, you've said that women don't do something. I've heard you say that women don't do something until they've had enough.
Women don't do much until they've had enough of being broke, enough of a bad relationship, enough of sabotaging themselves, enough of not saying no. It goes on and on and on of what we do because we're programmed. You know, the first 8 years of your life, 80% of your programming is already set.
Oh my gosh. That's quite a blueprint that gets installed in us.
Yes, mommy and daddy teach us how to be. Daddy teaches us more or less our value and who we're going to marry, because most of us, they say, well, you either marry your mother or your father.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. In fact, I met a man recently, and he used to be a car salesman, and my daddy was a car salesman. And the whole time I've known this gentleman, I thought, oh, he seems really familiar, and it feels like just really right. Like it's like I know him. And then I think it was after I was talking to you, I was like, oh no, it's because he was a car salesman, and I grew up in that industry. So I think we tend to feel safe or with the familiar.
We're connected.
Yes. So
we're deeply connected. Most people walk around and they don't know who they are.
Oh.
Because there's 4 personality types. There's the controller, the talker, the peacekeeper, and the thinker.
And the thinker, like the
Which statue. 2 are you?
I'm definitely probably the peacekeeper, Dr. Rose.
And your secondary? Are you an analytical or are you
the thinker?
Are you fun?
I think I'm probably the thinker and the peacekeeper.
Okay, so you analyze things. So you have to think about everything.
Yes, I'm definitely orientated that way. It's my dark nemesis.
Well, not necessarily. It can be a beautiful, beautiful gift because you're the person that thinks about everything. I'm opposite of you. I just jump in like a rabbit and go, okay, what are we going to do to have fun here? Or how are we going to make this happen? Whatever this is, come on, everybody, let's do something. And, you know, you can get into trouble being so, I want to say brave is the word I want to use, but people don't see it as bravery. They see it as when you just jump into something without really knowing what you're doing, but you do know what you're doing, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a new opportunity to create a business or have a new job. We all have a knowingness, but the brain gets in the way of the knowingness.
Absolutely. And that reminds me of another thing that you often say. I've heard you say that the body never lies.
The body never lies. You know the answers, but remember, 80% of your programming is the brain. 20% of your programming is your knowingness.
Oh, and we're kind of conditioned to listen to that 80%, that dominant 80%.
Yeah, 80%. You want to listen to your knowingness, the 20% when your brain's going, I should do this. I should go downtown to the, or I should walk to the marina, not go downtown. Let's walk to the marina and have a beautiful chocolate dip ice cream. So you're all excited. You go there and you meet somebody you haven't seen in 10 years.
Oh, and that,
All because you were determined to have that ice cream. You didn't know the universe was setting you up to see somebody.
oh, that's beautiful. Because we can really operate from that 20%, that's when synchronicity can happen. And the universe can actually flow through us to set up those rendezvous.
Well, you know, it's like you think about somebody and then all of a sudden they call you the next day.
Yes, that
We
happens a lot.
we have the energy to create that. When I think about somebody, I would say 90% of the time we connect. And it'll be within a short time, whether it's a week or whatever. And my girlfriend just did that the other day. I'd put a post in regards to my husband's passing, and all of a sudden 10 minutes later she calls and she goes, look, I don't have a lot of time, but I just want to let you know I saw the post and I miss him as much as you do, and I just wanted to say I love you. Bye.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So we need to do that as women. We need to support each other more. And one thing I don't believe in,
Mhm.
Barbara, is I'm not in competition with anybody. You're not in competition with anybody. We compete with ourselves. What can I do next? What can I do next for the better of mankind, depending what business you're in or what your scenario is? What can I do to be better? If my
Yeah.
husband was alive, he'd say, quit talking so damn much.
Well, I love it. I love it when you talk. And one thing I've really observed with you is that you're very authentic in your communication style. And one thing I wanted to ask you, Dr. Rose, was how authentic are women really being in everyday modern life today?
I would say most are fake.
And what does that mean to you?
They have to become somebody else because there was no safety to be who they really were as they were growing up.
Oh,
So depending again on your personality, I was very blessed because I was raised to be a free spirit. Nobody tried to push me down or say, "Oh, you're making too much noise. You're too loud. You're this. You're that. Whatever it is." I never had that, so that's a big blessing. So you have to ask yourself, Barbara, how you were raised. Did you have the freedom to be Barbara? Or did you feel you had to be that good little girl? So I'm making an example now for some of the listeners. You have to go to church every Sunday. You have to wear this, you have to wear a dress every time you go to church. You have to be this, you have to be that. Yes, some people will like that, and other people are going to resent their parents like up and down the yin yang.
yes.
So we have to choose. We have to choose because if our parents push us over the edge of who we're not, and what doesn't feel right for us, they're doing the best they can. Even if it's lousy, it's the best they can do. Then it's our job to fix ourselves as an adult.
Yeah, you remind me of another thing that you say often, and that's we have to change our belief systems, not our family or to like our husband. It's us who has to change our belief systems. But as a reminder, Dr. Rose, many women who are listening are rebuilding or coming out of relationships where they didn't hold their power, and these patterns are determining their behaviors. So, how do they go about breaking free to claim their power and starting to shift some of these belief systems that are creating havoc in their lives or having them attract personalities that don't serve them? All these problems that we have when we're.
Well, I think of this sentence: ladies, you've made a decision not to make a decision. That's your decision. So once the lady has made the decision to leave her husband for whatever reason,
Mhm.
I'm in the business of dealing with people's emotions and reading the body. There's no guessing. So I suggest they go to somebody. I'm not going to suggest a counselor. No, I'm going to suggest somebody that is an expert that can tell you exactly what's going on. So in my work, I read the body. The body never lies, the brain always lies. Remember, 80% of your thoughts are the body, 20% are the lies. That's the way it's set up in the brain. So people are afraid to invest in themselves. That's okay that they suffered for 30 or 40 damn years. That's okay. But they're so afraid to invest and change what they have to inside. And sometimes they never do it because the belief is this, Barbara: I'm better off alone. I don't need anybody.
These are actually stories that we create as we go along.
Well, have you noticed? I mean, have you noticed how women respond to some other people's posts, and it'll be about a relationship, and I'm happy by myself after 50 years of dedicating myself to this man. Excuse me. You don't have to be alone. You didn't have to stay for 50 years. You don't get to point the finger, because you got to point the finger back at you, because we're just as guilty. Most people do not marry. From my experience, the women that I've asked over 35 years, what's the real reason you walk down the aisle? Here's the most common one: I was pregnant. Well, nobody else asked me to get married. Well, I was getting up there in age. What did you expect me to do? Well, I didn't have a lot of men to pick from, so I settled. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So I notice here in Puerto Vallarta, the statements, when I make a beautiful statement about a woman, there's negativity lots of times because it's their story that they haven't completed their story.
Okay. And that's one thing that you do is for many, many years, you've helped women shed their story or shift out of a story that's no longer helping them.
Well, you don't get to be, when you're in my space,
Mm-hmm.
and if somebody's being a victim, I tell them straight up front with love, sweetie, you're being a victim right now. Do you know that you're playing the poor me card? No, 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 no. I want you to tell me, just let's take 5 minutes. I want you to tell me what happened in your childhood and tell me about mommy and daddy. And by the time she finishes telling me that, which is 3/4 of an hour, I'll go, okay, now you know why you married the man you married, because you just described your parents. It's normal. It's normal. That's what we do. We we marry the people we don't want to marry. I've heard that 80% of the time, especially women over the age of 60. I got married for all the wrong reasons. What can I do now? I don't know. Choose happiness. Well, how about that? How about try and connect with your husband? Do you know why men shut down? Why do you think, Barbara?
You know, probably they probably don't feel seen and heard.
Doesn't matter what they say. The woman's going to go blah, 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 blah. He's not going to feel heard. So he's going to shut down eventually. And then she's going to go, well, you don't hug me anymore. Well, who wants to hug that? Who wants to hug the energy? It's true. Nobody wants to hug that energy, because women always, most women, make a man pay a price for something. Men aren't that damn bad. First of all, if you picked a guy that's not good for you, that's on you.
So we have to take responsibility for that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I married my first husband because I could see the goodness in him and I could see the pain that he was in. Being the last child to leave Greece and his dad being angry because he left and, there were no more children to love. And I saw his pain. And I understand why he did what he did. And then the second time I made a better choice. So my first husband passed away. It was tragically, and my second husband was dying because the doctors nearly killed him with all the operations that he's had and blah blah blah. But I'll tell you what, I am a big part of who I am today because of him, because he was calm. He was calm and he knew what to do with me. And then when he really didn't know what to do with me, he'd click his heels together. He'd put his high Hitler stand and go, I love you too, and walk away. Because I started laughing. Because here comes Hitler.
Oh, so
But
he
he
really did
knew,
deal with you.
he knew how to deal with me. And when you have that conversation of, I know I'm being a bag and I'm really sorry, but you're not really sorry in the beginning because you're just mad. You have to say, you say you're sorry usually later. I don't
Yeah.
know. What did you do in any relationships that you were in? Did you say you were sorry or did it take a while?
I think in the beginning you usually come back after and say you're sorry once you've had
Hmm.
time to reflect. And I think as we gain more wisdom, we are much quicker to say sorry in the moment or quicker afterwards. I've certainly met many women where I've thought, oh, I can see why she's single. I can see why she's single. And I see many men that are lonely, and they want to have that special relationship with a woman. So I agree with you. Men aren't really that bad.
Of course they're not. Of course they're not. But I see, please tell me if you've seen it. I have the awareness online by just the remarks that people make on certain interviews or whatever I'm reading. I'm going, wow, women are angry. But really, they're angry at themselves.
Yeah, and that takes us back to the subject today of if you don't deal with your emotions, they'll deal with you. So anger is a really strong emotion. And what does that look like in the body? And what does that look like when
Well,
it's not
anger is going to
processed?
create huge sickness. Cancer's anger. And
Oh,
we've got cancer rampant. It's rampant. And
yeah.
it's a money making business. It's a big money making business.
Couldn't agree more.
And so when people are angry, I get it. I was one of those people that was angry. And then you have to look in the mirror and go, just a second here. The anger is within me about me. I want to point the finger over there and blame these people over there. But sometimes I want you to ask yourself this question too. The worst thing that happens to us can be the best thing that ever happened in our life. I'm in this business because my husband was murdered. The universe set me up that way. I didn't go looking for it. And then the next thing you know, all of a sudden you wake up 10, 15, 20, 30 years later and go, wow, because of that horrible incident, look what I've done. I'm trying my best to educate women to stand up for who they are and what they believe in. You don't get to be a victim in my space. You don't. I will not allow that. I want that victim energy to turn around and go, I have compassion for me because I can't, when you're in pain, emotional pain, see, you can't get sick without having sick emotions.
Exactly.
Your emotions make you sick if you don't deal with them. Over time, they always, 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 if you don't deal with your emotions, they'll deal with you.
Because I've talked about this quite a lot recently. Our bodies love us and our bodies talk to us, and that's their language. And so if we can just use that 20% that you're talking about, I think we can tap into that language, and understand what's going on with the body. And so you're saying there's an emotional cause.
For every sickness, and can I go through a few sicknesses?
I would love that.
All right. Lung is usually the biggest emotion is grief. Heart is lack of love. Liver, I'm so angry.
Agree.
Gallbladder, I'm pissed off. Gallbladder, I'm gulled. But pissed off is also your bladder. How many times a day are you going to the washroom? See,
Oh.
over time, these organs shut down. When you have arthritis, you're rigid. You emotionally are rigid, whether your fingers are rigid, and I would say to people, quit saying my arthritis. Okay, your body's going cellularly. Let's keep giving her more arthritis.
Oh my gosh. That's
And
very powerful.
it's like there's always an emotion connected to every sickness. This is where people can go get the old book Heal Your Body from Louise Hay.
That's
And
the perfect book to get. She's really the mother of the beginning of that consciousness coming to the planet, I think. She's the highly recommend that book. Excellent suggestion, Dr. Rose.
yes, so go get the book and you'll see how that pertains to you if you're open. If you're not open, you're going to say, that's not me, that's not me, that's not me. Well, that's your ego, and your ego's keeping you into deep suffering. It's going, oh, I'm having a heyday with her. Let's create more arthritis on the next hand because her right hand isn't working, functioning properly, which is your male side. So let's beat up the left side of her female side.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I mean, I think all our organs must have their own intelligency, their own unique intelligence, like as living beings all on their own.
Well, everything is, as I said, every organ has emotions.
Mhm.
And if you're willing to pay attention, these are called messages from the body. Messages from the body. The body's telling you, okay, go rent a car today because your girlfriend's coming and you want to show her around Puerto Vallarta. And you're going, okay, I'm going to go rent a car today, but I don't know which dealership I should go to. And then all of a sudden you're going to go, that one right there feels right. And you go there and you have a wonderful time. Or you settle and you go for the one that your body energetically isn't pointing to, and you're going to pay a price. Always happens no matter what we do in life. If we don't choose the right way, we always pay a price. When I
Uh,
say right way, it's how you feel.
so just checking in, checking in. Do you have any suggestions how women can begin to check in with how they feel if they've not used to doing that, if they've never done that before?
Well, I'll go through the 3 forgivenesses so that they can calm their central nervous system down. The first one is I forgive myself for believing
I forgive myself for believing.
that I'm not worthy and deserving to create an effortless opportunity to rent the right vehicle. Do you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you can also go, the first one is I forgive myself. The second forgiveness is I forgive others. So others, you put a person's name. So I forgive my father for teaching me I'm not worth renting a car for the day because it's too much money. I'm going to forgive my dad or my mom for telling me this. Don't rent a car, just take the bus. Okay. I forgive my father and my mother for teaching me I'm not worthy and deserving to rent a car because it's too expensive. The third forgiveness is I ask others to forgive me for believing. So you make it clear I forgive my parents to forgive me for believing that I won't have their love if I don't act and do what they do.
What gets set free when you declare these forgiveness statements?
Your gallbladder gets better, your heart gets better. There's organs. The organs go, finally, she's giving me a break so I can move properly.
Oh my gosh, your body and thus is just waiting for you to do that.
The body is, I walk around all day long, even after all these 35 years, to create what I want every day. And we've gotten to know each other a little bit, Barbara.
Mhm.
And I'm sure you've seen, because I've allowed it, but I allow a lot. I just want to be authentic. And if you're not authentic, you're bullshitting yourself. And I think you're not doing a good job for the person that's interviewing you either, because everybody can feel it in the audience. It's like, when they're watching somebody or listening to somebody, it's like, I don't know, I like her, but I don't like her. What's going on? They all feel something isn't right. So
Mhm.
I'm used to people being upset that I speak the truth. So when we do our events in Regina,
Mhm.
and we ask for volunteers to come up on stage, and I make it very clear, if you would like to come up on stage, only come up if you're ready and willing to break this belief, whatever it is. Because don't come up here for attention, because I'm going to put you right back down in your chair. Because there are women that go, oh, I'm not quite sure what I want to do. Okay, that's fine. Go sit down. Next.
Wow.
I can't do that.
Uh-huh.
I
So
can't
you're
do that. I'm not doing the right thing for the audience to learn what they need to learn by allowing somebody in the audience to try and take over what I'm teaching. That
good for you.
hasn't happened often. I don't even know why I'm talking about this right this moment. But that's happened to me maybe 3 or 4 times in 35 years where, they want the attention, and I can tell right away, you're not ready. You're not ready.
Yeah,
So,
I think you have to be ready and willing to change and drop those masks. And have you? So you're really inviting people to feel and confront and get uncomfortable. Because I've seen
yes.
them up on stage with you, and it's often not very comfortable, uh, and that's okay.
Well, I remember when my first husband died and I was in a course. I remember, I think we discussed this. One of the ladies who was the leader, she was so upset with me because I wasn't acting the way she thought I should act. And I said to myself, wow, she's the problem. She's the problem. She wanted me to be a certain way, and she was dressed in that army attire. And how could I, how could I put myself in a situation, not realize that I could have been murdered? Well, because it never entered my mind. Like, why would anybody hurt me? I didn't do anything. They didn't murder me. They murdered my husband.
How did you move forward from that moment after going through such a trauma and such a tragedy? How did you move forward, and what kind of decisions did you have to make? You had an 8-year-old son at the time.
Well, first of all, you have to move. Um, that's the first thing I did. And then I went and stayed with family for a short period of time. And then I went back to Saskatchewan because I was living in Alberta. And about 4 months later, yeah, one of my brothers came and just said, "You're coming home." And I went back to Saskatchewan. And that's why everything goes clickety click, Barbara, because I've been educating in Saskatchewan for years, over 20 years now.
It's
So
incredible.
everything goes clickety click if you allow it. If you allow it. Because I wouldn't have met my second husband if I didn't go to Saskatchewan. I wouldn't have. I've always believed in natural. That just is the way I came out of the womb. And it was in Saskatchewan that I did all the training.
Mm.
I learned we only live 7 miles from the state, so we'd travel to the United States and fly to wherever we had to fly to learn more information about the body with some of the doctors that I worked with that were educating those that had the desire to do kinesiology. See, you know everything, Barbara.
It's all
You know
inside.
everything about yourself. You knew who you should have married. You knew who you shouldn't have married. You knew who adored you. You knew who your best friend was or who the one was that stabbed you in the back. We all know.
We do know everything. I believe that's true.
So, what
I
did you do? What is something you did that you knew you shouldn't have done, but you did it anyway and you paid the bloody price of hell?
I have learned to regulate my emotions through the years, but when I was very confronted in my divorce, I was very triggered and I hadn't gained the skill of regulating my emotions and taking time before responding. And so I did send some wildly emotional responses that got me in a lot of trouble. I mean, it made the game a lot of fun, but it was, it made, I'm just joking. I mean, it's kind of outlandish to think of it, but no, I had to learn how to emotionally regulate the hard way. And I got myself into a lot of trouble. Yes, I was speaking the truth, but maybe I, could have done it in a more diplomatic way. So that's one thing that came to mind when you asked me that question.
So, are you glad you did what you did and said what you said?
Yeah, yes, I am. I mean, I think there's probably no other way, just the way it went. Um,
Well, it's over.
it's over. Yeah.
So, the past doesn't exist for any of us anymore except in our mind. The past no longer exists except
Mhm.
in your mind. Whatever happened to you, beautiful, you can teach others the best you can if they want to hear it. See, most people,
Mhm.
they want to be heard. Doesn't mean they want to change because they'll give every excuse in the book not to leave their husband, not to talk to their child and speak the truth, not to, become more of who they truly are and have their own belief systems instead of allowing themselves to be controlled. We have to look at that as women. We
Coco
have.
Chanel said once that the most dangerous thing a woman can do is speak out loud. And I heard you say that if you don't have an opinion, you're in big trouble.
Yes. Yes, you're in big trouble because you're giving your power away and you get weaker and weaker and weaker and you die before your time. And you're
Oh,
not good for your children, ladies that are listening. You're not good for your children. When your children see, because I'm sure you've seen this or heard this, and I mean it's all over the emotional work that's out there, but your children, you're teaching your children either how to have a loving relationship or how to break it up.
they're watching.
They're watching, they watch everything you do. And then you get upset because your 15-year-old child said, "Ha, well, look at you and dad. You guys are pathetic. You don't even talk to each other. You don't even touch each other. Christmas is a disaster." Yeah, yeah, I'm going to run and go get married too, Mom, as I slam the door and walk out. You know?
Oh my gosh, that resonates so much. That's so true.
Come on, everyone. When mom and dad are fake, the kids see it as plain as day. Or or they become who they're not, which means they'll be they'll be led with a rope around their neck and being told what to do, how to do it, and when to do it, just like a dog. You know, they're going to just obey. And I'm the opposite. I'm telling everybody, please don't obey everything. Obey yourself and what you know and what you stand for and what you believe in. Obey to that. And if you're not quite sure, then go to somebody that can balance it out for you and tell you the absolute truth of what you're really doing. You know, life is a game. You're in your own game. It's you versus you.
That's so true. It's so true. And I love that you remind people that they can actually create their reality and that we know everything and that we, all of these things are so, so empowering. And as we connect to those, we can do exactly what you want women to do, and that's claim their power.
Claim your power over and over and over again. Be that beautiful woman that you truly are. Don't be fake. Don't be giggly. Don't be goofy. Don't drink too much. Don't be doing your drugs. No, 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 including prescription drugs. Prescription drugs can be horrific for people. So I say this to many women. How long have you been on your depression pills? 35 years. And you're still not happy. Ha! I need you to think about that.
But I can see that. I can see that people don't like hearing that. I was actually speaking with two gentlemen, and it was quite shocking that they were both on antidepressants, both of them. And I thought to myself, hmm, hmm. Well, I couldn't agree more with what you're saying. I couldn't agree more with what you're saying, because we can live free and clear and align ourselves with these absolute truths that you're talking about. Dr. Rose, here's a funny question for you. How does a woman make a comeback?
From what?
Well, from a toxic relationship.
How does a woman make a comeback from a toxic relationship? Well, number one, you have to go see a professional and you have to work on yourself. That's the very first thing. And you must be consistent with it, because you spent however many years avoiding your needs, your wants, your desires, maybe not speaking your truth, whatever the story is. Now it's time to honor yourself and do the work. So taking depression pills for 35 years is not going to help you one bit. It's going to make you fat. It's going to create liver problems. And I don't know what else it's going to create. All sorts of issues happen when you take drugs for 25, 35 years. Now, because I'm in the business of natural, I would say to people, would you consider detoxifying your body? Your liver's on such overload. In other words, let me just put it simple. Your liver's so dirty, it needs to be cleansed. When you clean the liver, you're going to feel better. Your eyes are going to sparkle. Your skin will change. You're going to create a new you. Heart, well, most of the time, it's a broken heart. And people will not admit it, most of them. A heart does not attack itself.
Yeah,
You
I think
attack you. You attack you. The heart doesn't attack you. You do it. Who else is inside of you, Barbara, but you?
it's true. It's so true.
Well, your mom and dad's energy is inside of you.
Yes, yes,
Goes
it is.
back 4 generations.
So you're saying that trauma and patterns are go back four family lines.
For sure, minimum for family lines, yes. So your mother, her mother, her mother, and her mother.
Wow.
So one thing I don't like, and I will make a comment about it if somebody's in my space, and I'll do it with grace. Well, my father has been depressed for 30 years, and I'm just like him. I've got the same depression. I would, if it was appropriate, I would approach that person and say, well, what if?
Mm.
What if there was a whole change and you detoxified your body? And then I would explain to them how to do that, what they could take if they chose. And whatever they believe is what they'll choose. Because if they believe the doctor's always right, hey, I love doctors. I think they're amazing. But they're not amazing when they keep you on shit for 30 or 40 years. No, you don't know what the hell you're doing. You're lazy. You're damn lazy.
Wow. That's a message we don't hear very often or often enough in society. And many, many people take prescription drugs. I like that. Dr. Rose, you know that I have a group and we're 10,000 women strong that are overcoming toxic relationships and codependency. And I had one question come in from the group. I have a few, but I'll just read one. She says that she has just finished up a 3-year relationship with a narcissist, and she's constantly fighting anxiety, and she's even had panic attacks. What can I do?
Okay, so I'm going to test her.
Okay.
I'm going to test her body. So could you please think of her?
Sure.
You know who it is?
Yeah, she's a
I want
very incredible woman in my group, and she helps me a lot with my group. So thank you.
Okay. So repeat the question, please. I don't know.
She says she's finished up a relationship with a narcissist, and she's still constantly fighting anxiety, and she's even started to have panic attacks.
Okay. So she left him.
Yes,
Okay. So I need you to think of her.
I'm thinking of her, and I see her
Thank
face.
you. Okay. I'm going to ask permission if I can tap into her energy. Thank you. So what's the first emotion that you have to deal with, please, in regards to what you just shared with us? Lung, heart, lung, liver, gallbladder, anger, resentment, frustration, depression, stubborn. She's stubborn in her suffering, darling. The first emotion that comes up is I'm stubborn in my suffering. So is she happy she's not with him?
I don't know.
So if she's, when you have a narcissist,
Yes.
there's some programming there that it goes back some years, maybe her childhood, teenage years, something happened. But here's the key thing. She suffered with him and she's still suffering. So somebody taught her to suffer.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
So
You
you
know,
know this person. So when you're willing, without allowing your ego, because your ego, remember, 80% of your power is your body. It knows the answer. 20%, which is the brain, is going to go, let me lie to you all day long so you continue the suffering. And I'm saying if you want to fix that, you can change that. But if you keep staying stuck over there, in that 80% of what the brain is trying to protect you and tell you good things, but no, the 20% of the craziness is going, you're the problem. You're the problem. If you would have done this, this wouldn't have happened.
and you keep going through that story over and over again.
Yeah, but you can break those beliefs. There's 3 forgivenesses.
Okay.
The first forgiveness is I forgive myself for believing. I'm going to pretend that she's there in front of me. I forgive myself for believing I have to give my power away to men, and breathe. I asked my partner to forgive me for believing he wanted me to have no power, and breathe. Now, I don't know if this is true, but I'm assuming it may be. I forgive my parents for teaching me not to have a voice and to believe that men know better than women in regards to what they need, and breathe. I forgive myself for believing struggle is such a part of me. I absolutely refuse to give it up. And breathe. I forgive myself for being so hard on myself all these years. And breathe. I forgive myself for refusing to listen to my knowingness. I know what I know, what I know. Sweetie pie, whoever you are, you know what you know, what you know, but you chose not to listen, and now you're pissed off. Welcome to the world of reality for all of us. Somewhere in our lives, we go through this.
That's taking us full circle back to where we began. If you don't
Yes.
deal with your emotions, they will deal with you.
If you don't deal with your emotions, they will deal with you. Absolutely. Absolutely. You don't have to suffer. Again, it's programming, and it can go back for generations.
I love the work you do, Dr. Rose, and I know you also say suffering is optional. That's not those are not my words. You say that suffering is optional.
And struggle is optional. Struggle is a form of suffering.
Struggle
is optional. Choose happiness.
So good. I feel actually so good just being a conduit in this conversation. Radio, virtual time, TV time always goes so fast. We're going to bring this to a close. But before we do, what's one thing that you'd really love a woman to remember who's taken the time to listen to us today?
I want you beautiful ladies to stand up for who you are and what you believe in, no matter what. Only keep the people that are close to you, that support you, that help you get to where you want to go, with the love that you deserve and all the tenderness that you have and the sweetness that you have. Don't ever allow anybody to take away the real you, ever.
Dr. Rose, that landed right here. You're incredible. Thank you for the work that you've done and the legacy you've created, helping women for the last 30 years become unstoppable and really claim their power and their voice. You're incredible, and I hope we'll have more conversations in the future.
Thank you very much. Bye, everybody.
Healing doesn't happen all at once. It happens in moments like these. Wherever you are in your personal journey, honor it. If this episode meant something to you, share it, leave us a review, and stay connected for more conversations that move us forward. Until next time, I'm Barbara Lapointe, and remember, keep healing forward.